Hi, everyone. This is Michael Balesta with your recaps for the Browns and Cavaliers. The Browns suffered their fourth defeat of 2018 after losing to the Buccaneers 26-23 in overtime. The offense netted 2 first downs before the special teams made a great play as Tavir Thomas was able to down Britton Colquitt's 55-yard punt at the 1-yard line. On Tampa Bay's second offensive play, Trevin Coley was able to get into the backfield and tackle running back Peyton Barber in their own end zone for a Cleveland safety. The Browns got the 2-0 lead and were hoping for good field position, but Brian Anger was able to kick the ball 73 yards and only allow Jabril Peppers to get a 12-yard run back. An illegal shift before first down put Cleveland behind the down and distance, eventually leading to a 3-and-out. The Bucs methodically went down the field as Jameis Winston found Adam Humphries twice and Mike Evans for pass completions. It set up Chandler Catanzaro for a 38-yard field goal and a 3-2 Tampa Bay lead, with about 12 minutes gone in the game. The Cleveland offense could not get on track as Nick Chubb was contained on 2 running plays and Baker Mayfield was unsuccessful in hitting David Njoku on third down. The Buccaneers would carry the momentum on to the next possession as Chris Godwin started the drive by catching 2 passes for a total of 27 yards. After Humphries picked up 10 more yards, Deshaun Jackson opened the second quarter up with a jet sweep of 14 yards and a touchdown. Tampa Bay has done their homework and seeing how successful the Chargers were in running that play last week, and Cleveland had trouble defending that particular play. The extra point was unsuccessful by Catanzaro, and the score was 9-2. On the next possession, Chubb lost yardage one play after Mayfield could not complete the ball to him. On 3rd and 14, Mayfield had to take what was being given to him by completing a short pass to Brashad Perriman, forcing another Browns punt. For the third straight possession, Tampa Bay got points on offense. Winston was able to use his legs for 14 to start the drive. Evans and O.J. Howard kept moving the sticks. Emmanuel Ogbah was able to sack Winston, but Christian Kirksey got an illegal contact penalty on third down to keep the defense on the field. Penalties by Cleveland played a major role in the outcome. Ogbah jumped offsides on a 3rd and 4 inside the 10-yard line, creating a goal-to-go situation for the home team. Winston finished the series as it started by rushing the ball in for 14 yards. The extra point made it 16-2 with still 8 minutes left before halftime. After a touchback, Damian Ratley caught a Mayfield pass for 6 yards, followed by a 14-yard run by Chubb. The drive was stalled by a face mask penalty by Kevin Zeitler after it appeared that the rookie running back from Georgia had made it a second down and medium situation. Duke Johnson and Jarvis Landry each touched the ball after Mayfield's scramble, but 1st and 25 was too much to overcome, and the defense was back on the field. Thankfully, they came up with a big takeaway as Kirksey got an interception with the Bucs already in field goal range with under 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Mayfield took a sack on 3rd and 7, but Colquitt did his part, and after an infraction by Tampa Bay started at their own 1. After the Buccaneers were able to get out of the shadow of their own goal line, T.J. Carey stripped the ball from Cameron Brate, and Kirksey returned the ball to the 19-yard line. It looked like the break that Cleveland was looking for. Ratley caught an 8-yard pass on third down. Given that the offense had not been doing anything, I thought the Browns going for 4th and 2 at the 11 late in the first half down 16-2 was the right decision at the time, thinking that a field goal would do the team no good, and it was a big juncture in the game in hindsight. Mayfield had space to run on the far side of the field and looked like he would be able to get the first down and run out of bounds to preserve the clock, but he did not do a good job of preserving the ball, and Levante David knocked the ball out, which left the field of play shy of the first down marker. Tampa Bay would run the first half clock out. The Cleveland defense was up to start the third quarter, and they came up big as Myles Garrett strip-sacked Winston and Jannard Avery came up with the ball, advancing it to the Bucs 26. After Chubb and Njoku moved the ball to the 15, the second-year tight end from Miami caught a touchdown pass from Mayfield, and Greg Joseph halved the deficit with his extra point to make the score 16-9. On Tampa Bay's next series, both teams committed penalties, but the drive resulted in a punt. Cleveland could not do much likewise, which led to another long scoring drive by the Buccaneers. Winston found Evans on 3rd and 4 from their own 33 to move the chains. Alan Cross caught a pass on 4th and 1, just past midfield 4 plays later. Winston burned the defense again with his legs on a 3rd and 2 after Cleveland lost a timeout on a challenge on a pass caught by Humphreys. Howard hailed in a 24-yard pass to put the Bucs at the 2, leading to a Ronald Jones 2-yard carry and a 2-possession game again in the closing seconds of the 3rd. The Browns showed plenty of fight on their 10th offensive possession of the game. Baker found Landry for 6, then Chubb got Cleveland a first down with his 4-yard carry. The rookie from Georgia went up the middle for 21 to get the team into the plus side of the field. 3 plays later, Mayfield hit Jarvis for another 18. Carlton Davis interfered with Antonio Callaway on the next snap to put the ball at the 1, and Chubb finished the drive from there, and it was game on again. Jameis Winston did scramble for a first down on 3rd and 8, and Myles Garrett later got an offside penalty, but Cleveland's defense rose to the occasion. Mayfield started the next drive by going back to Landry for 20 yards out to their own 40-yard line. Baker then used his legs on 2nd and 26 to pick up a first down. Inexplicably, Jordan Whitehead's hit was helmet-to-helmet on Mayfield based on the television replay, but the referees decided to pick up the flag. The Browns still managed to keep moving the ball as Chubb got 12 on the next play. Then Njoku caught a 23-yard pass to set up 1st and goal. After a Zeitler false start, Landry grabbed the ball for 9 yards. With the ball at the 2, Cleveland had an odd play call as Mayfield elected to pass on 2nd down instead of trying to pound the ball, and it ended up being a low-percentage play. Chubb and Mayfield were stopped on the next 2 plays, giving Tampa Bay the ball at their own 1 for the 3rd time in the game, this time on downs. The defense got off the field on 3rd down when Ogba sacked Winston. Peppers got a 32-yard return to give Cleveland the ball inside the red zone with just over 2.5 minutes left. They only needed 1 play to tie the game, as Mayfield found Landry for a 16-yard connection. It was looking like Tampa might not give the ball back as Cleveland's defense did not tighten up. Evans caught a 10-yard pass followed by a 6-yard run by Jameis. After the 2-minute warning and a Bucs penalty, Evans caught another pass for 21 yards into Browns territory. Howard got the ball to the 41. After an Avery defensive holding infraction, Brake helped get the host into field goal range. 3 plays later, Catanzaro was wide right from 40 yards on the last play of regulation, and Cleveland got a reprieve. The Browns had played games past 60 minutes against the Steelers, Raiders, and Ravens, and had to do it again this past Sunday. The offense was on the field first, but were put behind the sticks after Desmond Harrison was called for holding. After a punt, the Cleveland defense appeared to have provided the key play. Jamie Collins intercepted Winston's pass that was intended for Godwin down to the Buccaneers' 45. On 2nd and 10, Njoku caught a 7-yard pass completion, but on 3rd down, Mayfield took a sack and the Browns had to kick the ball away. After a 3-and-out, Anger punted to Peppers, and it looked like Cleveland would get good field position with less than 3.5 minutes remaining in overtime. But Jabril was stripped of the ball by Anthony Auclair, and Isaiah Johnson came away with the football at the Browns' 48. Avery jumped into the neutral zone on 3rd and 3 from the 41, and Tampa Bay was inching closer to field goal range. Cleveland looked like they would survive another close call as Garrett sacked Winston on 1st down. Then Larry Ogunjobi and Emmanuel Ogba combined on a sack to make it 3rd and 29 back at the Buccaneers' 45. Jameis Winston found Deshaun Jackson on the sideline to get 14 yards to the 41-yard line. Chandler Catanzaro would get a 59-yard field goal try, and though the ball was drawing to the right initially, it swerved back to the left and had room to spare to end the game. It was a stunning way to lose. Elsewhere, in the AFC North, the Saints beat the Ravens 24-23, while the Chiefs demolished the Bengals 45-10. The division standings ended up greatly benefiting Pittsburgh, who was idle this past week. They were 3-2-1, followed by Cincinnati and Baltimore at 4-3, then Cleveland at 2-4-1. At this time, the Steelers have the 3rd best record in the American Football Conference, and the Bengals would be the 6th and final playoff spot. The Ravens are 7th, and the Browns 13th out of 16 teams. As for the fixtures in Week 8, Cleveland and Pittsburgh will have their second meeting before the midway point of the year. The Ravens will be in Charlotte to take on the 4-2 Panthers. The Bengals host the 3-3 Buccaneers. All 3 of those games are listed as 1 p.m. kickoffs Eastern Time. The Cavaliers embarked on a new season last Wednesday night against the Raptors north of the border. Kevin Love and Rodney Hood helped the visitors score 6 of the game's first 8 points. Cleveland was able to keep the game tight in the opening 12 minutes. There were a total of 11 lead changes in the game, but Toronto was able to put some distance on the Cavaliers in the second quarter after Love made 2 free throws to tie the game at 36. Kyle Lowry and Danny Green got back-to-back threes, and Toronto never trailed after that point. In the second half, Cleveland trailed by as many as 20 with over 4 minutes left in the third quarter, but could not get closer than 7 with just over 3 minutes left in the game as they fell 116 to 104. The big gap, statistically speaking, between the sides came in the block department of 7-0 in favor of the home team. The other was Cleveland giving the ball away 16 times, a recipe for defeat, particularly away from home. Looking at the box score, Cedi Osman finished with 17 points and 10 rebounds. Kevin Love was the Cavs' leading scorer with 21. Tristan Thompson recorded 13 rebounds. Jordan Clarkson and George Hill each threw in 15 points. Hill led the way in assists with 7. Colin Sexton began his maiden voyage with 9 points and 3 rebounds. As for the Raptors, Kawhi Leonard had 24 points and 12 rebounds. Kyle Lowry was very sharp, going 10 of 12 from the field to finish with 27 points, adding 8 assists. The Cavs did hold their own in the first quarter once again in Minnesota. Love, Hill, Thompson, and Hood were able to produce points to give Cleveland an early lead. Osman knocked down a three-point shot to put him up 9, but the Timberwolves closed the frame on a 17-6 run to claim a 2-point lead after 1. Jimmy Butler made a few dunks, and Minnesota was able to build a double-digit lead in the middle stages of the second quarter. They got the deficit to 9 through 36 minutes, but had already yielded 104 points. Sexton had several important baskets in the fourth quarter to put real game pressure on the home team at 121 to 117. Minnesota was able to eventually hold off the rally 131 to 123, and Cleveland fell to 0-2. Like the previous game, Cleveland faced an uphill climb on the road against 2 potential playoff teams, and it was just too much for them to overcome in the long term. Unfortunately, the Cavs do not possess enough talent, veteran players like Jimmy Butler, who had a game-high 33 points, Karl Anthony Towns, Derrick Rose, or Andrew Wiggins, who finished with 22, that can really impact the outcomes of games. As for Cleveland, Love was the team's leading scorer with 25 points to go along with 19 boards. Osman had 22 points and 8 assists. Thompson added 14 points and 10 rebounds. The rookie Colin Sexton scored 14, Jordan Clarkson contributed 19, and Rodney Hood put in 10. Sunday was the home opener for Cleveland as they welcomed the Atlanta Hawks to town. The defense was a problem as they gave up 133 points in a 22-point loss. The Cavs raced out to a 22-7 lead more than 7 minutes in and were 10 up going into the second quarter. Atlanta was eventually able to catch back up. Sexton picked up a flagrant foul, allowing Kent Bazemore to make 3 free throws towards the end of another high-scoring first half. Cleveland trailed 64-60 at recess. By that point, rookie Trae Young scored 21 of his 35 points for Atlanta. Tristan Thompson got 3 personal fouls with 2:40 left in the second quarter. Cedi Osman was quiet in terms of scoring in the first 24 minutes of play. Clarkson did get 11. Once again in the second half, the Cavaliers found themselves chasing the game but staying within striking distance and trailed by 6 going into the final 12 minutes. Larry Nance Jr. had 9 points after 3 quarters in the home opener. Clarkson made a few more baskets to keep Cleveland attached early in the fourth. Unfortunately, the Hawks were making lots of 3-point baskets as they were almost 47% behind the line. Atlanta had advantages in the categories of assists, steals, blocks, and turnovers as the Cavaliers are still not valuing the ball enough. No one individually on Cleveland was able to hit 20 points, and Clarkson was the leading scorer for the hosts. Love had more rebounds than points at 17. It was a tough night shooting-wise for Sexton as he was 2 for 11. Having watched the Raptors and Timberwolves games live, thanks to the free preview week of the NBA League Pass, transition defense was a problem. Though they ought to grind out some wins this season, it looks like they will have their work cut out for them, as evidenced by the first 3 games. They will take their lumps in the second edition of the post-LeBron James era and will still, in all likelihood, finish on the outside of the playoff picture when it's all said and done. Chemistry in basketball takes a while to develop, so patience will be required for Cavs fans in this 2018-19 season. Looking around the league and reading Twitter, there have been a lot of high-scoring games in the first week of the season. Part of it has to do with the team having a reduced shot clock of 14 seconds for offensive rebounds, creating more possessions over the course of a 48-minute game. Makes for good entertainment. I think eventually defenses will adjust over time. The Cavaliers will try to get their first win on Wednesday as they host the Brooklyn Nets at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. They will then face the Detroit Pistons at Little Caesars Arena 24 hours later. Cleveland comes back home on Saturday to play the Indiana Pacers at 7:30. In the World Series, I think the Red Sox will win the first 2 games at home. Then the Dodgers get 2 of 3 in Los Angeles before Boston closes it out in 6 games. That is my prediction. The North Texas Browns backers will meet at Fox and Hound in Dallas this Sunday. Kickoff is at noon Central Time. Fox and Hound is located on Midway and the Bush Tollway, so be sure to bring your family and friends. There have been good turnouts, so please come on out. Also, please check out the Facebook group North Texas Browns Backers page and hit the like button for the latest updates there. If you live outside of the North Texas region, please search to find a Browns Backers Club closest to you. The text of this blog is available at http://www.mjbalesta2blog.wordpress.com. That's http://www.mjbalesta2, the number 2, blog.wordpress.com. I am on Twitter at mjbalesta2 and on Facebook at Michael Balesta. Archive videos on YouTube can be found by searching Michael Balesta, Roman numeral 2. God bless, have a great week, and be safe.